Hey DCC, and welcome to another edition of Morning Coffee. I want to talk about a word that it probably lost some meaning in our day and age, and then when we see it in the Bible, we kind of assign a different meaning to it, and it's the meaning of the word hospitality. To many of us, when we hear hospitality, we think of the hospitality industry, like the hotels and restaurants and that type of thing. And then some of us also kind of have that idea of Southern hospitality or whatever, where there's this idea that we're gonna have friends over and we're gonna it's gonna be super fun and have them over. We'll share a meal together, and we kind of bring that connotation together. But in the Bible, it's completely different. It has a completely different connotation. Okay, and so I want to talk to you about it. And it wouldn't matter if you went back just to the Bible and you looked at the Bible and what it meant, or if you were to read Homer's Iliad, or you were looking at Odyssey, or any of those writings from that period. You're going to find examples of hospitality in the way that they mean it, and the way that word really needs to be translated when we think of what God is calling us into. So let me give you a few examples. In the time period that the New Testament was written, there was this concept of, I may go travel and go to a foreign land, and I come upon a village, or a city or something like that, or somebody's land where they live and different things like that, and they come out, right, and they meet me, and I'm a complete stranger, and I could possibly be a potential enemy, or I could be an ally, but they don't know who I am. And there was this idea that there was this exchange that was to happen. You'd welcome somebody in that often included giving them some water to wash their feet, to clean, sometimes bathe. It usually involved food and water. Oftentimes it would involve sitting down, enjoying a meal together, letting them take a bath, sometimes offering them a bed or a place to sleep. And then a lot of times it also included that they would help you on the next phase of your journey because you were traveling. And so they would do that. They would take you in, do those things, and then give you a place to sleep, and then kind of help you on your next step, right? And that was hospitality. But there's this idea that there's a potential hostile, right? There's this stranger, and it could be an enemy. But hospitality was this idea of, I can take this perfect stranger, and through showing them kindness right away out of the gate, I've converted them to a friend, and I've taken them into my home, so I'm treating them like family. And that really conveys the idea of hospitality when we see it in the Bible. And so that's one of the things that I think is strikingly different, right? It's not just inviting a friend over and kind of being, I throw a good party and I make everybody feel welcome, and I make sure I go around and make sure no one's off by themselves, and I feel like they're engaged in conversation, everybody's introduced with one another. That's not what the Bible means by hospitality. The Bible is this concept of taking a stranger, potential hostile, and then and making them a friend, making them family by the way that I'm going to take care of them and show them kindness. And so there's a modern author named Henry Nouwen, and I like the way that he talks a little bit about this. In one sense, he says Christianity is a spiritual movement where our hostilities can be converted into hospitality, right? In our lives, we come across people who are strangers, right? We start a new job. Everybody that we work with is a stranger. When we're at church and new people come into church, we don't know who they are. There's all these opportunities when I walk into a store, when I engage with people, when I see people in my daily life, when I go to the post office and have to talk to somebody, when I'm at Walmart and I'm checking out. All of those are opportunities where we're meeting someone who could be hostile to the gospel, that holds, religion at arm's length, or hates religious people, doesn't like anything to do with the church. Maybe they've got strong wounds that direction. Maybe they're in a community that the church hasn't done a good job of loving, and so they're hostile in that sense. But hospitality is this thing that we're called into so that by our actions and how we treat people and our kindness, we win them over, right? And we can take them and move them and convert them into being friends. And so Henry Nouwen also says it's our job as Christians to convert the enemy into a guest and to create a free and fearless space where brotherhood or sisterhood can be formed and fully experienced. And I love that definition. So I'm going to read it one more time, then I'm going to unpack it a little bit because it really, to me, grabs the essence of why DCC exists, okay? So he says, our job is to convert the enemy into a guest, to create a free and fearless space where brotherhood and sisterhood can be formed and fully experienced. We have a saying around here, your story is safe here, right? Greg gets up every week and he talks, about his story, and he tells people like, hey, you're in a place of people just like you. It's a Me Too place. And they're not people who used to be like you. They're not people who are going to try to fix you. They're not going to judge you. They're people just like you, right? And you don't have to believe like us to fit in here. You already fit in here just by showing up, right? And we say that every week. And that is really fitting in with this idea of hospitality. We have all these people that come in. Some people come in with addiction. Some people come in with family troubles. Some people have blown up their lives. Some people are just at their wits' end. They don't know that they need Jesus. They don't know that they need the church. They're just coming because they're trying to find something, somebody to do life with, some type of hope, right? And we say that their story is safe here. And one of the things that's our goal, all of us, not the church staff, right? But every single person, when you're here on the weekends and you see people, it is your job. It is not, so I want to stress what it's not. It's not your job to pull through Starbucks, grab yourself a frickin' venti mocha, go park your car in the closest spot to Discovery Church, walk in the door, say hi to the person greeting you, go check your kids in, walk into the auditorium, worship a little bit, and then walk out and then just repeat that every weekend. If that's what you're getting out of DCC, then man, you've missed what we're about, right? So I want to challenge you, just like Greg is challenging you and pushing you and stretching you. That's crap. You can't do that anymore. Your job is to be here to rub shoulders and to bump into other people that you can create relationships with and help them feel free and fearless. Remember, story is safe here. We're trying to remove fear. If you don't talk to people and you only hang out with the people that you know, and you're not trying to be friendly and you're not trying to be hospitable, right? Then people are not going to feel safe here. That's not someone else's job. That's your job, right? That's my job, your job, everyone's job. That is what we're to do. We're supposed to make people feel safe so they can bump into God, so they can bump into Jesus, and Jesus can change their life. And so this is one of the things that we're called into, and DCC is always going to push hard on this because it's really God pushing, right? God is pushing on you. So I want to challenge you, man. If you're just coming and kind of going through the motions, sitting in there, I just really love the worship, and Greg, he really, says something great to me, and and then I just, I kind of go home, grab some lunch, and freaking take a nap, and that's the sum total of what you see Christianity or what your church experience is like, then you are missing it. We need people who are coming together in DCC's building on the weekend with the purpose, the mission to bump into people that they don't know, and make them feel safe and welcome and develop friendships with, invite them into community, help them take next steps, help everyone to constantly be moving closer and closer to Jesus in their relationship and their walk. And that's not something that Greg can accomplish. That's not something that our 39, staff members can accomplish. That's something that takes all of us. So I want to challenge you to step outside of your comfort zone and be hospitable. Practice hospitality. Hospitality is not hanging out with friends. It's not going to Vegas and staying at a hotel and eating at a cool restaurant. Those are modern ideas of hospitality. What we need is to go back to the time of Jesus and the disciples and the apostles, and we need to focus in on what they meant by hospitality, and that is to create a space where people can bump into God free and fearless, where they can become our brothers and our sisters and our family, right? These are people that we can invite into our homes, that we can break bread with, that we can share time with. And we didn't know them. They didn't know us. They could even be hostile, right, to the church. They can feel judgmental. They can feel like, I don't know about this place. I don't know about Christians. I don't have a good taste in my mouth, with them. And yet, because of our actions, because of our kindness, because of our love, because we make this place safe, we can move them closer to us and closer to Jesus. And that's our mission, okay? So think about that this week. How are you going to be hospitable? How are you going to practice hospitality? Okay? Have a good day.